blow. Go for the gusto and let it go. You were born with the glow, man, let it show. Spit it right. Team grind, how you living? It's Kid the Kid, and I'm back with another reaction video. Video on for the rack 2 is from DownRight, Devious compilation from Classic Man D. You find my channel first time, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this on social medias. And Team Grind, I know. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I have no legit excuse. I've just been working, trying to catch up on some things. But Classic Man D is somebody who I just recently started following because I saw his TikToks and his X account. You know, go follow that and show this guy support as well. And he basically do like these what if scenarios. You know, people send him, tagging him and stuff, and say what would he do in this situation, or who he think is the worst in this situation. It's a lot of funny commentary, so go check him out. But enough I was talking. Let's go ahead and get to the video. Okay. That bitch hit hard, man.
Well, folks, this is a new series I like to call DownRight Devious, where I talk about the worst of the worst when it comes down to cartoon characters. Yes, today I'm talking about Blue. People really let their nostalgia let them forget that this dude was a piece of shit. Was there ever a time where this man wasn't ruining people's day just to be a dick? Blue goes out of his way to be an asshole. Some of my mutuals actually had the nerve to ask me what's wrong with Blue. Did we watch the same show? Then let's just stop saying that he's a good friend of Mac, because this is an extremely toxic friendship. There was actually one episode where Mac was only able to recognize Blue because of the fact that he would never be apologetic about anything. Then Blue openly shamed the other one. Then let's talk about the time where Blue couldn't get his lazy ass up off the couch and made Will get chips, and openly stomped on those chips once he got them just because they weren't salt and vinegar flavor. Then told him to hop to it and get the right ones. So remember when Blue exposed his recovering addict friend to sugar just so he could party? And then again so he could have a ride to get a video game? Oh, and there's plenty more. This man is a sociopath.
It's crazy how no one brings up the fact that Skips is low-key a psychopath. We just glossing over the fact that this man was willing to let his friends lose their souls just because he didn't want them to know that his original name was Walks instead of Skips. This is over bowling, mind you, and he was willing to go off the grid for this. He started burning his shit. That stress episode was when this man started to become sus to me. When his stress started eating him alive, I knew this man was unstable. Because it doesn't take much for Skips to want to catch a body. Rigby slapped this man one time and he was so ready to kill them both. What you been doing? Skips knows everything, which means he knows how to get away with it. I am so sure that Skips has caught bodies over petty shit and he's covered it up. You gonna tell me because you lost arm wrestling last night, you gonna break my whole console in half? Are you serious? He got a tell for when he wanna catch a body because he'll stop skipping. That's how I knew him killing Rigby was premeditated. He just wanted to do it because he knew he was cheating. His training is his premeditated ritual for catching a body. Notice he's skipping here. When he's ready to kill, he walked out the door. Oh no! He needs to be stopped. Who has the most diabolical actions here? I'm not even gonna pretend like it's not the Joker. Shoot, an argument can be made just from what he's done to the Gordon family by himself. I mean, he gut shot and paralyzed Barbara, kidnapped and tortured Jim Gordon all day, and then showed him pictures of his daughter being assaulted while still gut shot, then sung a musical number about it. Then he kidnapped a bunch of babies, then killed James Gordon's wife right in front of them. He's blown up a school full of children just to make a point. He ruined a man's life just because he laughed at him. One time Joker killed a bunch of innocent people inside of a church right in front of Batman and asked Batman to sit down and pray with him as he told his backstory, or he'd shoot himself, and that asshole did. He was thought potentially to cut off his own face just to make a point, then stapled it back on. When Joker got phenomenal cosmic power and became Emperor King Joker, he wreaked havoc all across the multiverse. He immediately started to kill and resurrect Batman every single day in a new way. And then just for fun, he ate everyone in China. He got Batman to admit that this is ultimately a game between these two. And Joker says, every day I'm living, I'm winning. Crazy, huh? This is how I know the DMV is evil, because when Batman dies, he decides to work there.
Everybody and their mama know exactly who Aku is. Yes, and we have seen firsthand how many times he has hoed Jack over the years. I mean, Aku's so cold, he's willing to strike down someone in a wheelchair with lasers. It wasn't bad enough that this man Aku hunted Jack for ages to the point to where he became a schizophrenic. This man is so dastardly, he has a whole cult of women who devote themselves so much to Aku to where they're willing to burn their own flesh with magma just to have blackened skin like his. And they do this to kids just to raise them for the sole purpose of killing Jack. But boy, there is nothing worse than the time Aku became a thick baddie just to mess with Jack. This man is so twisted, he's willing willing to have Jack fall in love with his ideal woman, then promised this man a way home just to go on this whole journey to shatter any chance this man had at having peace. And then he's like, psych, you got hit with a surprise penis. Like, bro, that is maximum petty.
Yo, I just discovered 3 more villains from part 4 of JoJo. See, they're not as evil as Kira, but they're damn sure up there. I promise you, you overlooked how evil these characters are too. These 3 girls right here are evil as shit. Remember when Shigechi had the misfortune of running into a serial unaliver and got blown all to hell? This child walked through the halls, torn all to hell. Then he gets beamed by a basketball. Established he's clearly wounded, seeking for help, and a whole child, but left him to die because he looked creepy. Bro looks like that because he's dying. Help him. Then you can clearly see them in the background just standing around talking. And on top of that, that basketball was launched at him. It wasn't like it just fell or something. I think she did that shit on purpose. Then even if they were playing in the halls, who throws the ball that hard? Y'all really was trying to hurt somebody. On top of that, how the hell did Kira know which classroom Josuke and Okuyasu was in to touch the door? And wait. The other girls like Kira too. Oh nah, it all makes sense. The interaction with the girls slowed him down so he couldn't get to them in time. Oh nah, it all makes sense. I'm convinced they were working with Kira. Nah. Playing Among Us because y'all are sus.
You cannot tell me that Chris McClane is no less evil than Satan himself. This man probably has a higher body count for campers than Jason Voorhees himself. The first challenge he had them do was jumping off this cliff. And then they had to make sure they only landed in the middle ring, because in the outer ring, he put psychotic man-eating sharks in it. And sure, most of them definitely passed this challenge, but what's to stop the sharks from swimming in this circle? Chris once forgot he left a camper buried alive because he was too busy torturing another one. Remember the horror movie challenge where Chris and Chef left the island because there was supposedly a psycho killer on the loose? Then the challenge was they just had to beat Chef. Even though it's just Chef, Chris still gave this man a real chainsaw. This man took a full swing at a camper with a working chainsaw. Are you kidding? Then it's what he did to Ezekiel. Chris had this man turned into a golem and then used as a challenge. This is someone's son. Imagine getting turned into this from a game that started at $100,000.
Talk about one of many times Plankton has kidnapped a bunch of people just to have them eat his food. Next thing is calling this food. Boy, just because Karen reshaped this into a pie doesn't make this look any less disgusting. Somehow he programmed her to turn that nonsense into tea. Remember when he built himself a new wife then showed off that she had a fat ass? Or removed SpongeBob's brain then put it in a robot. Plankton once made a super highway destroying all of Jellyfish Fields just to spite Mr. Krabs. Remember one time when Plankton faked injuries just to commit insurance fraud so he could sue Krabs, broke into SpongeBob's house and then took over his brain. Boy, the funniest thing was when this man was roasting this whole family.
You can't talk to my wife that way. What do you think this is? I think it's time for you to lose some weight, fatty. That's what it is.
Bruh.
Someone ought to put you in a mental hospital.
Someone should put you in a box floating down the river, Grandma.
He did her filthy. We're talking about the baddest of the bad, the Lich. You knew the Lich was on some different timing when he just straight up grabbed Finn, told him to be quiet, blew up that new gauntlet he got, and then threw his ass in the corner. Like, as a kid, this shit was haunting. You knew this man was a different breed when he had a whole sweater pulled through both of his eye sockets and had his face torn off and all he could do was laugh about it. And you gotta think about how jacked up his return was when he killed Billy. Really think about the fact that he killed Billy, then skinned him alive, then put the skin on. Then think about it like this, he did kill everybody. This man sat and waited for months in one spot in a rotting corpse just so he could get the opportunity to kill Prismo. And the first chance he got, he murked him, then laughed his ass off as he freed the most dangerous criminals in the galaxy, manipulated Death's son into killing him so he could wipe out all of reincarnation. Then he's inevitable across all timelines. He can't be stopped. What is the pettiest thing Lex Luthor has ever done? I'll go first. Lex once cured his sister's cancer. Like, I'm talking about, he gave her the ability to walk and think properly again and finally be able to hug her daughter and have a happy life. Then as soon as she thanked him for it, he re-injected her, then pushed her back into her wheelchair and took away the cure. Then he said, Lex giveth and Lex taketh away. The whole point of this was just to prove that he could cure cancer. Lex hates Superman so much that he's willing to carry kryptonite with him 24/7. Imagine hating someone so much you're willing to keep a radioactive rock in your pocket just to run a fade. And he had this on him for so long it gave him terminal uncurable cancer. And he blamed Superman for him getting cancer. Lex made a whole organization called Cadmus just to give himself superpowers so he could ruin Superman's reputation. Just so he could murk Superman and become the hero. To make them look even worse, he hacked into the Watchtower and blew up Cadmus just because he could. Lex created a whole plaza with new homes and apartment complexes and parks for kids, knowing that Superman would never trust it, leading to a fight that would destroy it. Lex spent $75 million on a fake presidential campaign just to make big Superman mask. Who is the most petty here? And it was no contest when you put Homelander on this list, talking about the same guy who had a bad rally event and then proceeded to have a mental breakdown. At that same rally, he wanted to laser them all to death just because they said, "You don't speak for us." Homelander once completely deafened a blind hero just to make a point because he didn't want handicapped people on the team. One time the Deep got a TV slot before